Hey, so for this latest project, we've tackled on the CRF450X model. It's a 2007. 05 to 06, they made one little change, from what I understand, like frame stuff. But basically, from then until 18, same exact bike. These bikes, we've done a lot of stuff with the 250X. We've done a little bit of stuff with the 450X over the years. These bikes are really cool, kind of big, heavy, but yet they're still very reliable, last long time. The bike that we just picked up, we got for $2,500. Summertime out in California, it's the best time to buy bikes for a good deal. Hard to sell bikes and do well. So got a good deal on this bike. It had the stock front tires, stock brake pads. This thing was really a gem under its little rough looking deal. So we're gonna give you an inside look at everything we do. Cutting the pink wire, getting the carb done, hand guards, kind of the critical stuff, because we want to take this thing trail riding in about 10 days. Suspension, fork seal's been leaking, so we got to get that done. So we're not going to do a full-on project bike in this thing, but we're going to get it all to where it runs great and is ready to go for the trail. So here's a look at everything we do. Hey, Jay here. We got our latest little tech tip for you. I've done this before on Rocky Mountain site. You can see it there for, a little bit more, but I thought I'd put one on my site. We're fixing up this 07 CRF450X model bike, and we found a really good deal on this clean 07 bike that had the stock tires still on it, so the bike was still pretty clean. So one of the things we do, the carburetor's got to be gone through. So we got the carburetor being gone through. So while that's being done, we got our Airbox here. We're going to cut that open. We've taken the air filter off the backfire screen, and this is one of the first things you'll want to do to a CRF R or X. Is you get right under these tabs and you can bend them up. This is the last one. I bent them up already. And then this just pops right off. And then you have a cage, just like a two-stroke cage. You got this thing gone, and then the tabs are all bent up, and they just come right off, and then you just throw it in the trash. And now you clean this, and you're ready to go for your filter. Now, as far as the Airbox goes, what I'm going to show you is, if you come in here, there's actually a line Honda gives you right here to cut out. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but you follow this line, and what I do is I get a Sharpie, and I'll mark out this whole line like so, and I'll start cutting it. Now there's a few different ways to cut it. I'll clean it up usually with a knife like so. I'll cut some of it out with this. If there's anything I can't reach with this, I'll heat up a knife with a torch, just get a knife hot, or some people have a hot knife, and I can just get in there and cut around it. So we're going to show you a few little things on getting this all out of here. We're going to also pull this out. This one's already been blocked off, and we'll block this one off as well and reroute our valve cover hose. We'll reroute it. We'll put a plug in here from Applied in this hole as well. Silver Sharpie.
Yeah.
We found a silver Sharpie works well for following that line. So you can see what I got left here. And, I ground off these tabs here to get us started. Now, this is when we bought the bike, somebody had already cut this out. This doesn't come cut out. So that was a real cute, try at getting a little more airflow to this thing, but not enough. We need to open this thing all the way up so it gets a ton of airflow. So we can get this thing in quite a bit in here. So I'm going to cut this off, and then I'll get around here a bit, and then I'll use my knife to finish up. Okay, so I cut the last bits, and this piece will come right off. And I'll put it in our pile of abandoned pieces. This was all at the top, inside, air filter cage. All this stuff is gone. Now we're left with this big open Airbox here. So now I'm going to clean this up. I'll clean it up a little bit more with this. And then I'll get my knife. I have a deburring knife, and we'll clean this all up really nice to get this so it's all smooth and looks nice. Okay, so I'm wearing safety glasses. These aren't reading glasses, if you might be wondering. But anyway, safety glasses. Be safe. I used like a deburring knife like this, went around this whole thing, got it all cleaned up as best I can. Now we're gonna contact clean this out because you got grease sticking here, and then blow this thing out completely clean. Okay, so I got this cool little plug from Applied, makes these cool little plugs. I put a little bit of Gorilla Glue, it's like a super glue, or you can use grip glue, anything like that, just something to keep it really there. And then I'll just push it in here in the hole, and it pops right in, like so. And if you want a little added security, you can put that stock clip on here or a zip tie, so this thing never comes off. If this thing comes off, it'll suck dirt in right into your motor, so you want to keep that clean. Again, everything I'm doing here, so this gets rid of this piece in here. Opening this all up is good for a 250X as well, not just this 450X. Also now with this open, your bike's going to breathe better, just like an R model. You will have to clean your filter more often because you're going to get more air, so it's going to get dirtier. But not a big deal for the performance gain for sure. Also, it's way easier to put your filter in. You're able to come in like here and through the side door to get your filter on. So really nice, way easier to get your filter on. So that's a look at how to open up your airbox in a CRF450X or 250X. Okay, we're back here on the X. We're getting ready to put the carburetor and suspension back on. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the pink wire. Any X owners have heard about the pink wire. If you've ever wondered how to make your 450 or 250X faster, is you cut this wire. Honda put this in to, it retards the ignition about 3 degrees. If you cut this wire, you could cut it back here if you wanted, and I cut this back a little bit, and you could leave it so somebody could hook it back up someday if they ever wanted. If you never want to, you simply just cut the wire and it will bypass it, and then I tape them off separate so they don't touch each other. So that's the wire. You gotta take this whole cover off right here to get to it, right above, coming out of the CDI unit, out of the ECU right here, coming right out of here. That's the pink wire to cut. Okay, so I got our carburetor off of our 450X. I want to give you a few little tips. This is not going to be a full instructional deal on how to do this because I take it to Brad and I kind of know what I'm doing, and I have Brad do it. So first thing he does is wire up the accelerator pump on these older CRFs. I don't know the exact years, but around, we figure around 07, 08, 09 on different models. In there, they switched this to the other side. So we have this wired together. There's way less delay when this pushes down on your accelerator pump. So that's the first thing that Brad does on these things, of course, after cleaning them. So now we're going to show you everything else we've done to our X-Carb. We've cleaned all in here. He's taken everything out of these channels, cleaned them thoroughly. And then we actually add a choke knob here. So here's our choke. Of course, we'll take this out, clean it. This is the hot start on a CRF 450X. We try to get rid of some junk, so we actually just block this off with an old choke lever. You can see this old choke lever. It's actually bent because we'll never use it. This is a hot start. We'll never use this, and it gets rid of that whole cable and everything on top of our bars. So we get rid of that. And then down at the bottom of the carburetor, you can see this carburetor's got a lot of, this is stain from bad gas sitting in here. We've cleaned it up really good, and honestly, it's probably gonna need another cleaning after it runs for a while. We'll probably have to go through it again. So down in here, you can see our main jet is the top one. Let's show the pilot jet. And there's the pilot jet is down in there, and then the starter jet is right there. The starter jet will never change. And our jetting we're running in this is like a 160 to 162 main, 45 to 48 pilot, and then the needle we run a 1 millimeter larger, taller shim to space up the needle. So that's all the jetting we run, and now that's all with the opened up airbox. If you open up that airbox, you have to do that. And we're also going to cut the white wire, the pink wire, right, Brad?
Pink wire. Pink wire.
Okay, now let's look at the.
Make sure you always blow through this.
Blow through those.
That is accelerator pump.
Accelerator pump. Mm-hmm. Now let's look at the bowl and show us what you did to the bowl. Now the leak jet, we put a new gasket here, and this is all in this all balls kit, which is really cool. So you get a new gasket. This gasket will for sure be shot. It might not be leaking when you take it apart, but when you go put it back together, it will leak because it's all flattened out. And then the leak jet is right here. Now you can check this out. This is a bowl. Luckily we had an extra bowl. This is the bowl we had on here. Somebody had changed the leak jet at one time, and what we think they did is they over tightened it. And with old gas, it sat there and rotted out, and we could not get that thing out. If we didn't have an extra bowl, we'd spend more time trying to get this out, but not sure we could ever really get it out without damaging those threads. So people can ruin a carburetor real easily if they don't know what they're doing. So Brad's really good at doing these, so I have him do them. We also will add this, as soon as we get the bowl back on, we'll add this. The stock one is very difficult. Here's a stock one. And you have to use a special screwdriver that goes at a 90 to adjust this on your fuel screw. And so we adjust this fuel screw quite a bit when we're out, you know, different elevations and everything. So you'll want to have a good knob on here. Works Connection makes this one. Here's all of our, you know, jets. And the carb kit comes with new bolts too, which is nice because a lot of the old bolts you get on an old carburetor are all jacked up. So that's all there is to this carb. You can hit me up and I can send you Brad's info if you ever want to get one done. I'll be glad to give you his info. But you want to get somebody good who's used to doing these carbs to go through it and make sure it's all awesome and sano. And we'll see this X running here later today.